So okay, I got two different widths going on here. These ones are about 2 inches wide. This is about 1.5 inches. I want to use the wider ones to go around and make the case. And as you can see, I can be a little bit longer here. This can be a little longer, which is good because it was a little bit squashed. Then I'll use this material here to make the back. Now I just realized something here. I can't increase the length of the case. The wood is too short. So I got to keep it pretty much the size it is. Maybe I can make it 1/2 inch longer, but this is the way it's going to be. Now I do have more oak left over from other projects, but even though it's in my Scrapwood box, it's not really Scrapwood. And this is supposed to be the Scrapwood clock. So here we go. So I'm going to pass these pieces through the jointer, and the reason for that is if I get the joints completely flat, it'll glue together a whole lot better. But you know, if there's nothing that you remember about these hokey workshop videos of mine, please remember this, and that is that half of these machines that I've got around here, they'll take your fingers off instantly. And this is one of them. Now here's one of the things that I do to, well, it's not going to guarantee I'll never get hurt, but it'll help. When I'm passing the wood through, I'll try to keep this hand riding along the fence. And then with this hand, I know that I'm going to be pushing down, but when I get to the place where the blade is, I'll take my hand off and I'll wait till I get to the other side, and then I will push down. And the reason for that is because let's say you're pushing down right here, and all of a sudden, for some crazy reason, the wood catches, and it disappears, and it'll disappear fast. Well, you'll be putting your fingers down into the blade. And likewise, when it's like this, naturally, the most convenient way to run it through is just like this, okay? But then, there again, the wood could disappear, and you put your fingers in the blade. So make use of these sort of things, and be slow, methodical, and if you're lucky, you'll keep your fingers. Now the reason I'm telling you this is because I knew a guy that actually lost fingers in a jointer. Now you may not be able to see it, but these joints are nice and flush. The glue is going to do its job, and hopefully after this is all glued together and it's sanded down, it'll look okay. Okay, I've got 9 pieces, and I think I've selected the best 7, so it needs 7 to go right across. This one here might be a little short. Maybe I have to take a longer one. This one's stained a little bit in the center. However, I think that won't show once it's all sanded. I find that if I put tape on my cauls like this, I don't have any problems with the pieces sticking to them. Another little thing I've learned is don't stick the tape on real hard, because when you want to get it off, it sometimes doesn't want to come off too easy. Another thing I've learned is it never hurts to do a dry run. That way you know that you're going to be able to get your clamps all on and adjusted just right, so that once the glue is on, you can just quickly go at it. Well, I can tell from the dry run everything's going to line up here okay, so I guess the next thing to do is do it for real. And here we go for the real thing. Well, there's one thing I do know for sure, and that is I won't be using the table saw to cut up the segments. Now you should recall from video number 1 that I concluded that these pieces could be just a little bit longer. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make them about 1/16 of an inch longer. And I'm not going to cut the real oak. I'm going to cut test pieces up just to make sure. And then if they're right, then I'll go ahead and cut up the oak. Now the reason I've got this sacrificial piece of wood on here is so that when I actually start cutting the angles, there will be less tear out when the blade passes through this much narrower groove. And I've got everything set up here. Got it set to 15 degrees. I found that this power miter is extremely accurate. Now please don't prove me wrong here. I've cut up the scrap wood, and as you can see, it's just exactly right. It's just slightly larger. So I can go ahead now and cut up the oak. And once again, the miter saw cut the angles precisely. And the next thing I have to do is glue them all together. Probably do that tomorrow now. Anyway, I hope you watch for part 3.